Yeah?
I looked at that one too, yes, paid it.
Who does?
What's that for? Which one's $4.99?
What's the other one?
Oh, you're going to send us
Website?
the
Yep, and hopefully my phone doesn't die in the middle of module 3.
Oh, I have the battery if you want.
No, it's okay. We're good.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I like it a lot. I think it's fun. All right. Yay, last class for the day. Woohoo! Module 3, our approach to our approach to selling. Our approach to our video projects, right? This is where we're going to talk about consistency and scheduling and video projects that we as agents can do, okay?
Okay.
Really, it all starts with a plan, right? Like everything that you guys do in your lives, in your business, it all comes up with a plan, right? You got the idea. The idea is that you're here and you're saying to yourselves, I wanted to start doing video marketing, right? But now we've got to do and make a plan. Because it's one thing to say that you want to do video marketing, it's another thing to put a plan in place to make it happen.
Yeah.
Right? We talked about it earlier. I made that little talked about Josh Altman's catchphrase, ready, shoot, aim.
Aim.
Right? We got to get it done. But this is where, even though we do the ready, shoot, we need to actually aim to start hitting our mark. Right? Yes, we get better by doing the aim. We hit our targets more often when we do our aim, rather than just throwing shots out there, right?
Yeah.
So, we got several things that we're going to do. We're going to talk about part 1 of the plan. Part 1 of the plan is that we got to dedicate some resources to make the plan happen, right? You don't have to spend a lot of money. DIY, do it yourself. Yes, ideally, when we talk about video editing and things like that, it can be a bit of a hassle. And of course, you think, geez, I got to spend a lot of money and this, that, and the other. You don't. We just saw it here today from our second class. Somebody actually just made a video in less than 10 minutes on their phone device, and it looked really awesome.
She did.
And it seemed like she had fun, right?
Yeah.
We also need to dedicate some time to record. We got to have a place to record. Ideally, maybe at the office, depending on most people's offices, nice quiet place, less distractions, hopefully. If office is not ideal because the office is too chaotic and too crazy, maybe at home. Our kids are now in school, right? Hopefully between 7 and 5 in the afternoon, right? Nice quiet relaxation. That's when mom and dad actually get to relax. Kids aren't at home driving you nuts. Got to have some equipment. Camera or mobile device is good, right? We talked about that in class 2. 1080p, 4K video being able to be recorded by your phone and tablet devices nowadays. I would also say invest in some sort of microphone if you can. Don't have to spend a lot of money on it. A lavalier mic is always good. You can get a wired lavalier mic that you can plug into your phone for about $20 from Best Buy.
What's it called?
Lavalier,
Yeah.
basically the clip-on lapel mic, okay? Or even better yet, as I mentioned earlier, the headset that came with your phone. It's automatically got a wired headset, or it's a wired microphone headset. I know many people who do podcasting. Anybody familiar with the term podcast? Basically a
Yes.
radio show, right?
Yeah.
Most of those podcasters all use their phone headsets and nothing else.
You mean the Bluetooth or the one that plugs
The
in?
wired plugs right into the phone. Bluetooth is nice, right? Like the iPhone earbuds, those $150 earbuds, awesome. Great audio that you can get out of there, right? Crystal clear. When you talk to somebody on the phone, they can hear you, you can hear them. Well, guess what? You can use that in your videos.
What did you call that?
The wireless earbuds,
Oh, okay.
right?
Wireless.
What was it?
AirPod.
Oh, the AirPods. Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
I call them the earbuds. Right? Somebody's always got something somewhere, right? I think they got the sports one. Anybody here works out? Got the Bluetooth ones? Those are fine. Those are a little bit more expensive. But if we want to go the inexpensive route and save some money, the wired headphones that come with your phone, perfect. Okay? You can always improve later on. And of course, we got to have some sort of video editing software. We talked about iMovie, Movie Maker, any of those. All right, part 2 of the plan. You gotta figure out what type of story you want to tell. Okay? I need you to think about the audience you are wanting to connect with, because remember, it's all about the connection. And of course, you got to consider what audience you want to attract. So not only is it that we have to think about who we want to connect with, but who are we going to be needing to attract for our business. Right? So these are the things that we need to figure out in our stories, because the way we are, who we want to connect with and what we want to bring in is going to all dictate the type of story and the way we tell that story, right? Anybody here remember being read stories or being told stories when we were kids, maybe the bedtime story? We always had a favorite, right? Who was the favorite person in your house when it came time for bed? Who did you want to hear tell a story to?
Mom.
My sister.
Your sister, right? Why? Because she made it entertaining,
Oh.
right? Some of us, it was probably our mother, our father, our aunt, our uncle, right? In this case, your sister. It's the way she told the story that made it intriguing, right?
She spoke English.
She spoke English. Excellent. I think
Easier.
when I was a small child, my my friend's older boyfriend, I was maybe 5 or 6, and he told me the story of Grendel and Beowulf. And the way he told it was so intriguing, right? Then when I got older, I got to read that story, so I was so excited about the way, because I remembered when I was a kid. And then when I read it, I thought, oh my God, it's not as exciting as I would have thought reading it, right? So, we are the storytellers. So, what type of story do you need to tell or want to tell? Also, the stories you're going to tell and how you're going to tell it. Keep the video short but informative. To start, to keep it short, you want to give small nuggets, 2 to 3 minutes. We had asked about that earlier. A lot of mistakes happen when it comes to video. People give the entire cow away, right? Remember back in the day, it was like, we were told, you know what? Why go to the cow? Or why get milk when they want the whole cow, right? Well, you're right. People want the whole cow, but we need to give them just a little bit of milk, right?
Mm-hmm.
We want them to come back for us. We want them to come to us. Or let's put it in fishing terms. Anybody here know how to fish? Anybody like fishing? What do we do with the fish? We put bait on a hook, we throw it out there in the water, and we grab the fish, right? And reel them in. What do we not do? Take the bait, throw it in the water, and expect the fish to jump in, right? So we need to only give them small little bits and nuggets of information. We want them to want more. Give them a reason to contact you. Give them a reason to want to come back for more information from you. So instead of giving them top 10 tips to buy and sell properties, we give them 3, or we give them 2. But those 2 bits and nuggets of information should be really important for them to want to come back for more. Right?
Yeah.
So, give that audience an excuse. Okay? By the way, when it comes to, yes ma'am?
Can you set up a private and a public such that you have your 2-3 minutes of teaser trailer, so to speak?
Yeah.
And for those people who subscribe, they can get like a bigger,
Sure.
a bigger version, so you would
Sure.
just transfer them to another.
Sure. But the thing I don't want them to do is still get all of the information. Because I can give them more information if they subscribe, right? Because even though they just subscribe, what's to say that they are still going to use me? So, we still have to think about that. So sure, okay, for more information, subscribe to my channel today to see parts 3 and 4.
Oh.
When they get 3 and 4, we end that video with, give me a call today for more information or better guidance, right? So we want to lead them, right? We don't want to say, okay, now that you're a subscriber, here are parts 5 or parts 3 through 10. And now that at the end of 10, you have now listed and sold your home. Well, that's great. Now, why do I ever need to use you? You've told me exactly what I needed. Right? Great video, thanks. I sold my home easily. Thank you so much. Sold for $1.2 million. Okay, well, you going to pay me for my information? No. You never asked for it. Right? By the way, in your video editing, never, or at least avoid fading to black. Crazy enough, subliminally, if a video fades to black, you tend to start to forget. The way you want your video to end it in your information. Have that slide with all of your information, all your contact information. That stays there, burns in their brains. Right? That's why we end our videos with, hey, for more, thanks for watching today's video. Subscribe to my channel. Go to my Facebook. Like me on Facebook. But most importantly, feel free to give me a call or shoot me an email. Here's my information. Hope everybody has a good day, and end it there. Right? End that video with that contact information. That way they remember it. Upcoming events, or maybe even something. Hey, tune in or contact me or show up at my neighborhood garage sale for this community. That way you can give yourself a chance to meet all the neighbors. Because I know we've got a home for you there that you want to come to. Something, right? All right. Part 3 of your plan. Schedule some time to do your videos, right? Consistency is key to your video marketing. If you only do one video, don't expect this to be a success, right? A lot of agents do that. They'll do their one video, they'll post it up, and they'll go, this is horrible, I only got 2 views. Remember our earlier statistic? Less than 12% of agents do videos even for their homes. Well, if they're not doing videos for their homes, are they doing videos for themselves and about community and about information? No. So if no one knows that you're doing videos, they're used to agents not doing videos. Is it going to be an instant success? No. Take some time. It's going to take time. Part of that time is consistency, right? You need to put out at least several videos consistently before you begin to even see results, right? Ideally, agents should do videos at least once a week. Now, I never expect anyone to do this right away, right? You have to build up to it. It's like working out. Guys in the room, anybody here go to the gym? Did you ever lift 350 pounds right out of the gate? No, you had to build up to it, right? Some of us had to take a little bit longer, others shorter, right? But we still had to build up to it. Ladies, Stairmasters, walking, hiking, biking, anybody here like that? Did you do 30 minutes to an hour right out of the gate? What'd you do? 15 minutes if you're lucky? I know when I got on the elliptical the first time, the 5 minutes, I was like, good Lord, I can't even move. Whew. I burned 30 calories, yay. Next day, all right, I'll go 6 more minutes. Excellent. Then 10. It's all about the build-up. Promise me. Actually, don't even promise me. Promise yourselves. Promise yourself to do at least one video a month. I don't care what kind of video it is, do at least one video a month. You'll be surprised at how much you'll do. If you did one video a month for a year, that's what? 12 videos. Before you know it, as you begin to do it, you'll find out that it gets easier and easier. You'll probably make time to maybe do 2 a month. Then before you know it, you'll do 3. Then 4. Right? It will grow. Okay? Depending on the video or the topic, the schedule will vary, right? So you're going to have quarterly videos that you're going to do. You're going to do monthly videos, weekly videos, and then on the fly, daily. Those things will happen. Don't freak yourself out on that. These things will come together. Okay? So we at least all want to start with at least something once a month. Okay? Now, part 4 of the plan, gotta uploading in the analytics. Be mindful of where people need to find or view the video. So post to your YouTube channel, put videos on your website themselves, right? Don't forget about Facebook, like your business page and things like that. The more it's out there, the more likely it's also going to be found and found more often. If someone sees that this video is posted to 5 different places, right, they'll get a chance to pick one. Maybe they'll even go to the second and third one just to see what it's like, right? They'll go to YouTube to see this video and any other video that you have posted on YouTube. They'll go to your Facebook business page, see what you're doing in your business, and other posts on your business page, like things that you're getting from your lender that you're posting, things that you're getting from CAR about the new tax laws and the new rental cap that the governor is now getting ready to sign into effect. Anybody aware of that, by the way?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Isn't that kind of crazy?
not good.
Depends on what you want to see in that, right? So we can do that. By the way, nice thing about Facebook, you can boost the post, add it into your targeted ads, whatever. Also, by the way, your property websites, you can create a property website. Analyze and measure the video analytics. So how well are your videos doing? Which videos are being viewed the most? How long they're being watched? If a viewer decides to even share your videos, you're going to see all that. You won't see who shared it, but you'll see that the video was shared. Right? If the viewer comments, like do they like it, dislike it, or even better yet, they ask you questions. We had said this earlier in class 1 today. If someone takes the time to make a comment, writing something, you should write and respond back. It shows that we are obtainable, accessible, and we're willing to engage. A lot of agents make that mistake. Yes?
Is there a benchmark of how many videos being watched is good? Like, is there a benchmark number? Is it
Personal
saying
preference.
If you get 200 people viewing, that's great. If you get it, or it needs to be.
You could do that. You could say, you know what? I want to see if this video gets 200 views. I want to see how fast it'll get me to 200 views. And then you can monitor that for yourself, right? Because as you analyze this stuff, right, or look at this stuff, that will determine, you know, like demographic and things like that. That'll also determine that how often you do those types of videos. So like if you did a video from your car, where you talked about something on the fly and you posted it, and that video inside of 2 or 3 days got 200 views, versus the video that you sat at home, put together, spent 30 minutes putting together, talking about analytics and statistics, where in the same 2 days it only got 10 views, what are you going to more than likely do? Videos on the fly. Probably talking about that same content that you were just talking about in the car, right? Pertaining to other things. So in a way, you're going to analyze all that, realize all that, gauge that to be able to gauge what types of videos you're going to gear that to. Because obviously your audience that you're attracting responds to you in that way versus some other way. Okay? In a way, we're talking about being TV producers, right? We talked about that earlier, the types of shows that you're making and this, that, and the other. What we're gearing. All right, so the types of videos you should do, because there's tons of video content to produce, but here are some suggestions. Real quickly, the About Me, the team intro video. So, like this young lady did earlier today, she did her intro video of who she was, what she does, how long she's been in business, so on and so forth. Maybe you introduce your team. By the way, everybody here have a team? A couple of you, good. I should see every hand. A team does not necessarily mean me and my buyer agents or me and my listing agents. It's title, escrow, lender, broker.
Okay.
You've got a 4-person team at your ready. You've got a title rep, you've got a lender rep, you've got an escrow rep that you like to work with. Introduce people to your team. Right? This is what my team can do for you. Listing videos are always important. People wanna see what type of stuff you're selling out there, right? We talked about earlier today the important client testimonial. This shows what you've done to help build credibility and trust between you and future clients, right? Interview videos. Part of those interview videos, maybe you go around the town and interview businesses, local businesses in the areas that you're marketing. Hey, here's a great hole-in-the-wall restaurant that nobody knew about. This is a great restaurant. It was a nice surprise. I love to get in touch, let people know about your business. Because maybe when you got there was only 3 people there, and they could see 120. And they tell you, well, we're thinking about closing the doors. Stop. Let me get some people in here. Let me talk about it. Advertise for you. Yes?
The nice thing when we do that is that we also post it on the business's Yelp page, so we get double the exposure.
Double
Because they're
exposure.
happy to see our team, eating their food or going to their dry cleaners. And I don't
Exactly.
even have to ask, they're like, so this way I get not just my audience and my client list, but that restaurant or whatever on their Yelp page.
You're connecting with other businesses.
You don't need permission.
Well, I
Sometimes.
talk to them and say, would you
Yeah.
like me, I would
Yeah.
love to talk about your restaurant. Would you mind being interviewed and just tell me, some really cool thing? Maybe, what's the special this week? Because I love coming here once a month, eating your great food. I think other people should know. And a lot of people in the neighborhood may not know about this little hole-in-the-wall place, right? Local and community videos are important. Shows you being connected. Great opportunity in your interview. Go to City of Commerce or go to Town Hall. Interview the mayor. Interview somebody on the city council. Right? How many of you know what's happening in the city that you live in? Did you know that a few years ago Huntington Beach had on the floor of the city council that anybody doing business in Huntington Beach must have a business license?
Right.
Now, part of that was remember how agents used to have on their cars the magnetic for real estate, I'm a realtor sign? You know what they call that? Business advertising. Did you know that Huntington Beach considered that as you're practicing business in the city of Huntington Beach, which now you must have a business license?
Oh.
I mean, if you drove through Huntington Beach, even though you didn't live or work in Huntington Beach?
Yep, you were advertising a business in their city. Thankfully, we here at Orange County Realtors and the Realtors went to the city council and said, hey, that's a little bit unreasonable. But it's back on the floor again, not just in Huntington Beach, but in other cities. So, great opportunity for you to show how connected you are with the community, what's happening in the community that people are living in, or maybe even want to live in, why they want to live here, why they shouldn't want to move, low tax rates, and affordable housing, and great communities and this, that, and the other, right? Market update videos are always important. People always want to know how the market is doing. Is it a buyer or seller's market and where they live? How you look at the numbers, interpret the numbers. By the way, young lady, you do not need to take a single picture. As long as on the sign-in sheet you have your email address there, you will get a copy of all of today's presentations. You're welcome. Special offer videos. Hey, that local business that you're interviewing, did they ever tell you, hey, mention your name and get 5% off the bill?
No.
Yeah, well, maybe that's an
Never done
opportunity.
that, so it's a good idea.
That's the thing. Hey, do you have any special offers?
I did that with a new build that we're working on, but I didn't think about it with just listings.
There you go. Or even just businesses.
Yeah,
Yeah. Hey,
great.
that's not too bad, right? That's kind of cool. Shows us being connected, working together. More of an incentive. Client process and update videos. So this one you specifically have for a client. You do a video for the client. Hey, by the way, just opened an escrow. Congratulations. Now, for the next 30 days, this is what we're going to do, just so you know. And then outline the process. According to the contract, as we discussed, In the next 17 days, we've got contingencies that we need to look at. So you need to have all your inspections done. By the way, did you know you can do any and all inspections? Here are the list of inspections that you can do if you look at this form. But we need to get those done quickly and easily. Not to mention on there, we've also got the loan contingency, so please don't go out and buy the Rolls Royce or that big boat that you were thinking about until after we close escrow. Right? One of the things that consumers are super upset with agents about today is that they're not sure of what goes on in the process. They're told that they've opened escrow and no communication between them and their agent ever happens ever again. And before they know it, they're told, hey, you're closing escrow tomorrow, which freaks them out. I didn't know I was supposed to review these documents. I didn't know I was supposed to get these disclosures. What's happening? What's going on? Do a video. Talk about the process. Handhold them through the entire process. Right? Home buyer and seller advice videos are great because those are kind of educational, right? Instructional. Hey buyer, here are top 3 things you need to do in order to prepare yourself to buy a property. If you don't have your FICO score in order, if you have over credit card debt, you may not be able to qualify. Get a handle on it. If you don't know how, or you need help, give me a call. Sellers, this is what you need to do in order to prepare your home today, because the buyers want move-in ready. Even though, yes, you can sell as is. If you want a higher price, quicker, faster, these might be some steps you want to take. Give me a call today for more information, right? Things like that. Here, list-based videos are great. Team office culture, walk around your office, get people to see how well connected each and every one of you are with each other in the office, right? Event videos, like what events are in the community. Your year-end review. Hey, we're coming up in the month of December. Have you met your goals? Are there any clients that you would like to specially thank for that worked with you, that you had a special connection and bond with, right? This one here, your pre-listing video. Anybody here do a pre-listing package before they go on the listing appointment?
Yes.
Well, maybe you do a pre-listing video. I like to introduce myself. You and I are going to meet tomorrow. Just want to let you know what we're probably going to talk about. All right. So the videos you produce or record, the type of video that you're going to, the type of video will also will dictate how often you produce and record your videos. So like your year-end review, you do what? Once a year. Your market update, you're probably going to do either monthly or quarterly, depending on how up to date you want to show those numbers. Community informational videos, those should be your weekly or monthly. Client testimonials should be as needed. Instructional videos, at least monthly, if not weekly, right? Things to reference. So knowing the type of video you are going to be making will help you plan your schedule. As I mentioned earlier today, real estate agents live on their schedules, or you should. I don't know of a single day that you guys don't have something planned on your schedule. We're just going to have to add that in there. We're going to have to find or niche some time for that. Okay? Now, we've got to remember some things. We've touched on this throughout the day, but be mindful of the MLS rules and regulations and code of ethics. Starting with your MLS rules, 12.8 states that a listing shall not be advertised in any media, including the internet, by any participant or subscriber of the MLS other than the listing broker, without prior consent. And actually, it actually should be without prior written consent of the listing broker and or agent, except as provided in section 12.16 of the MLS rules relating to the display of a listing on the internet. So what does this all mean to you after all is said and done? If you're making a video of another agent's listing, you have to have written permission prior to the listing, from the listing broker or listing agent, so no Facebook Live at an open house. If you're not the listing agent, or unless you're hosting the open house and you've already got the listing agent's written permission to host the open house and do advertisements, you shouldn't do any video. Okay? This is important mostly because in the listing agreement between the seller and the broker, it states that only the broker is authorized to advertise and market the property. So, the listing broker is in control of how this information is submitted to any medium on the internet. So if I say something wrong, like I quote the wrong bedroom or bathroom, the listing broker is held responsible for that, and the listing agent. It's an actual 4-bedroom. Why'd you say it was 2 or 3? I don't know. Did you walk through it? No. I just thought it was. I'm now responsible for maybe hindering that person's sale. Heaven forbid, I say something bad about the property. Now the listing, I've impeded the seller from selling their home. And I'm not the listing agent or the listing broker. Who's responsible? The listing agent and listing broker. You know, there was a funky smell. I don't think the people that live here are very clean. It looks really ratty. Now I've defamed the clients, I've defamed the property, I've impeded them for a quick sale of the home. Gotta be careful of that, okay? So, please don't do it. Let's see here. Things also to remember, code of ethics, advertising another agent's listing, even in video format, may actually get perceived by the public that you are the listing agent. So this could be a code of ethics violation on top of a MLS violation. So, because perception is everything, if someone in the public perceives you as being the listing agent and you're not, then you could face grievance hearings for breaking several articles of code of ethics, including Article 12, which states that a realtor will be honest and truthful in their communication. This is important because you want to avoid, it's important to avoid because you could be fined and you could lose your license, depending on how egregious this is. So, you got to get it in writing from the broker, and if I do get it from the broker and or listing agent, then I've got to give them full credit. Got to give them full credit. It's just like our print advertising when we talk about the neighborhood. We have to not only give the full address of the property, we also have to give the listing agent and the listing brokerage credit on the property. So those neighbor update reports, 123 Main Street, Irvine, Fountain Valley, California, listed by John Smith of Jack and Jill Real Estate. I have to have that in all of my advertising. Does anybody do that now? You can be honest. This is the trust circle. Good. No one's doing that right now. Okay, you're going to get yourselves into trouble. Make sure you give full on credit. By the way, there is a choice that's the listing agent can say, I don't want my listing on any market update reports. You have to look for that. Because if they said that they don't want their listing on any advertisements at all, you can't use their listing in market update reports. Now, it's also a double-edged sword. That means that they can't use anybody else's listing either. They can only advertise their listing. So be careful.
How can you find that information?
So when you do a search in the MLS and you get to the results, you know that you can add in columns, right? So go to a column, and when you click on not the name of the column, but the column itself, next to the name, there'll be a choice that says insert. When you hit insert, type in neighborhood, and it'll give you the choice of the neighborhood market, yes, no. When you click on that, you add that column in, you'll see if agents have marked it as yes or no, you put the property on a market report. And if it says no, you can't use it. Yes, ma'am.
I was told, correct me if I'm wrong, because I may be, but if you're putting together a market report in a specific neighborhood, and you only use the street name, so Main Street sold in June for a property on Main Street.
You're not following your rules and regulations. It says that if you're doing a market report, you have to give, unless you're the agent involved in the listing itself, whether you're the listing agent or the selling agent, you have to give the full on-property address, right? Because what happens if that's the only property on Main Street? Now I'm advertising someone's listing.
For souls?
Sold is public data, but I still should be giving the full address of the property. And I have to make sure that my disclosures, and I really should, because they are changing the rules, to give the listing agent and the listing office credit. Because if I wasn't involved in the sale, again, perception is I must have been the listing agent or the buying agent on that home. And if I wasn't, I should be disclosing that, yes.
What if, rather than street, you go by model?
Even the model, what happens if that's the only model that was for sale, right?
So that, so really, any market report you have out, if there's multiple agents on both sides
So
of the
if there are
transaction,
10 or
and they're not
15
you,
homes, if there are
yeah.
10 or 15 homes, I need to be able to give all 10 or 15 agents the credit on those properties. Currently, as it stands, the sold you don't have to, but I can tell you that the rules are changing very soon, that it's going to be required.
So no one will be able to do a market report,
So how
or
do you-
not
No,
a
you
good
can
one.
do a market
No, I mean,
report.
not a good one, if two or
Sure,
three
here we
agents
go.
don't wanna participate.
There are 15 active, there are 10 sold, 15 went into backup, median price, and
You
close
can't do a
price.
price range between this and that?
Sure.
Models?
As long as, I wouldn't even put the models in. Because again, if there's only one property of that one model, and someone can figure out which property it is,
Well, I mean, that's just too.
and again, if we just do a generic neighborhood, there are 15 active, so out of the 180 homes that are in this neighborhood, 15 are active, 20 are closed for the past 30 days. Price range, listed price range between X and Z, and closed price between X and Z, that should be fine. But I know most of us want to give that market update report. So
Well,
you
what
have
if,
to follow
what
the
if you say
MLS rules
bedroom
on
count?
it. Again, if I'm not the
Is
listing
that,
agent,
is that too specific?
it's still too
All board.
specific.
Then it's
Things are
kind of a
changing.
useless,
It's just a matter of, people are gonna think that I'm the listing agent or involved in that property in some sort of fashion. So I have to give the appropriate brokerage and the agent credit.
and plus you have to get their permission.
If it's coming from the MLS, like the neighborhood report, it's automatically given permission, provided that they allow their listing to be on that report. So when I run that MLS search, I need to add in that column, is it allowed to be on a neighborhood market report? And if it says no, I can't use that listing. Even to talk about it, I can't do it. Just like that agent who doesn't want me to use their listing, they can then not use any of those listings that do allow it.
So when they opt out, they
And
opt
then-
out completely.
They opt out completely. So, hey, I can't talk about anybody else's listings in the neighborhood other than my own.
Okay. And you
Because
can't
I
talk
said
about
no.
mine.
So it is a double-edged sword. If I said yes, then I need to be given the proper credit, right? Because if you listed a property in a neighborhood that's currently listed, and I started putting out advertisements where it looked like I am the listing agent on your listing, are you gonna be happy? No. That's where the perceptions come in. This is the exact same thing for video. It's all about the perception. So if I'm doing perception video, or doing videos where it could be perceived that I may be the listing agent on those homes that I'm standing in front of and walking through and talking about, right? And by the way, my videos, I could be compromising certain things in the house. What happens if they have a Van Gogh on the wall? Even though that listing agent has been mindful of not to have that Van Gogh anywhere in the listing photos, now mine does. What have I now done? I've compromised the safety of this home. I've compromised, a lot of things at that point. So we have to be super, super careful and super, super mindful, right? Yes.
If you shoot a video and you're employed by a broker, but you shot the video of a listing, is that property of the broker and you need their permission, if you go to a different shop and you say, hey, here's an example of some of the stuff I've done. I mean, I'm trying to figure out if you're able to take.
Well, if I'm the listing agent on the.
So you
I
list
pay
a
for the
property, you
marketing.
shoot a video, you work for Caldwell, all right?
Jack and Jill. Let's
Jack and Jill.
Let's avoid antitrust
All right.
today.
Jack and Jill. And then you go down and work for Humpty Dumpty.
Right.
And you say,
Well,
hey,
that is still my marketing to show to a potential seller of
yeah,
what
so
I do
then
in
you
my
say to
marketing.
me, hey, here's an example of some of the stuff that I've done.
Then that's different. That's now point to point, right? So point to point is I can show them whatever I
What if
need
it's
to
on your
point to
face?
point.
Do you have to take it off when it's on a public viewing platform?
No, because was it truthful that I was with Jack and Jill at the time that I listed the property, did the video, and did the marketing of that property? Yes.
So the broker can't say, hey, you can't, you have to stop using
They
it.
could. They
could.
could, especially if the listing's still active and that listing didn't come over with me to my next
If it
office.
closes and it's.
If it closed, it's public data,
Mhm.
right? So that's why it's got to be truthful to the public, right? Even more so. So again, on my advertisements, was I the listing agent? Yes. Was I with Jack and Jill at the time that I listed the home to do this advertisement? Yes. So everything's fine, regardless of what company I am with now. That's why when we talked about updating your channel or creating your channel, we have all of our company information on our channel. So if we ever decide to jump from one company to another, we change our background image to upload the new logo, the new company logo with our DRA license number on it. We have that flexibility. Any new video I produce this day forward will have the new company data information on it for first point of contact. So I'm still truthful with my updated information. Maybe I even take down some of the old videos that have my old company data information in it.
Okay, well,
And maybe those couple of first or backslide where it's got, agent of Jack and Jill Real Estate. I take those sections out and put in Humpty Dumpty. Yes.
okay, so the listing belongs to the broker. Everybody knows that.
Yes.
What about the advertising? Now, the MLS takes credit, that they're gonna,
Not all of it.
okay, so if I,
can't use the photos from MLS.
no, I understand, I'm talking about my own listing.
Uh-huh.
The broker owns the listing. So he can decide whether I can take it when I switch a company or not take it when I switch a company.
Right, but in the course of the advertising of what you've done
The
and what you
advertising of
paid
what I've
for,
done, whether I paid for it or whether I did it myself.
and he
that
was
belongs
aware
to
of what
me.
you did. that
Well,
all belongs to
I mean, the broker is supposed to sign off on any advertising that goes out.
Yeah.
Okay, but of course,
Well, don't.
he hasn't.
If
And
he hasn't, then
They don't. I mean, generally, they don't.
They
I mean,
probably
they
should
should, but they
start.
don't. There's a lot of things agents and brokers should do, but they just don't.
They take it for granted. I mean,
They just don't. So that goes with me. So I could really vacate that whole listing, all of the photos and everything from the MLS.
MLS rule, section 7.11 says that you cannot delete any photos from a listing. Once you put the photos in the listing, it now becomes property history, which is now required and unremovable, short of it being replaced. So when my listing says closed, or those or videos out of the listing, that's all considered listing history. I can show you.
So if they do that, and there's only one picture left,
Then they're in violation of the MLS rules.
because I've seen a few like
They're
that.
in the MLS,
Yeah, I've seen where
violation of
they've
the
totally
MLS
taken
rules.
everything out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, in your MLS, you have a rule that says,
I'm surprised I haven't watched this.
OCAR.org. We're gonna go here super quickly. So this is why it's important, because people need those photos and videos when it comes to creating comps,
Mhm.
right?
Right.
You have to be able to show why the home was listed at what it was listed at, why it closed for what it closed at, things like that. So that's all part of the important marketing history of that property. So it's very important that we look at for that. So here, let's see here, if I
I'm
down
surprised
here.
MLS doesn't have a flag for that, that if photos
Well,
were.
they are looking for that, because if you try to take out the photos,
Mhm.
and you then close it, that's a $2,500 fine, I think.
But what if it's really just like a bad photo?
If it's a bad photo
Yeah.
and you take it down and then you put up another photo, then that's fine.
Yeah, but what if it's a bad photo of something that's irrelevant? That just by.
Then that's okay as long as it's still active. But the moment you put it into pending and then go to close
Oh,
it.
so while it's active, you can.
Yeah, because you're
delete
still
it.
actively and you probably need to modify the photography,
Mhm.
that's okay. But what you don't want to do is, okay, we're about to close today, and before I turn the listing to close, I am going to take out all the photos except number 1, and there we go. Can't do that. So let's see here, draw expiration.
But you can before you go into escrow or before you change the status, right?
What was that?
You can delete all of the photos except the first one before you change
I will tell you,
status from
Sierra MLS
active.
is sending out fines for that.
Yeah. Well, I'm just asking.
I know. That's why I'm saying, don't do it.
I have a question.
Yes.
What if I hold an open house? Can I advertise it?
If they give you written permission to do so.
Okay,
Even if it's, say, you and I are business colleagues in the same office,
okay,
it's my listing, you come to me, hey, I'd like to sit through an open house if you have a vacant home, is that okay? Sure, not a problem.
Mm.
Now, I've given you a verbal. Now, my verbal, it's not good enough.
oh, I see.
Because what happens when you advertise it, my seller catches wind of your advertisement, they see it, they love what you do, right? Everything you do. Well, she got 50 couples to come through her open house, and you've had my listing for 3 months, and you've not done anything, or you haven't gotten anything. Your advertisement's horrible. Hers was awesome. Am I gonna be upset that she did a better job than I did?
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm.
What might the seller want to try to do with me? Fire me. Now what is my course of action? I can file a grievance against her because she advertised my property without getting written permission from me.
Mm.
Doesn't happen often, but it has happened. She goes to grievance, they ask her right after that, what gave her the right to advertise this property? Well, he told me I could. Do you have anything in writing? Answer, no. Sorry.
I would
Fine for
think
the
if they
plaintiff.
send you the pictures over that you can use.
If I
that's
had the
permission.
rights to use those photos. If I don't have the rights to use those photos or give them out to anybody, I could be facing copyright infringement violations. So,
Does text
Hmm?
count as a written? No.
not according to California law anymore. It used to be okay, but then I guess because of recent court cases, they've said that text messages are not considered in writing. They're considered conversational verbal.
So you
What
need
about
an
email?
email?
Need at least an email or a handwritten note or a
Okay.
picture of their smoke screen signals that they're sending me.
Okay.
Right? So unfortunately, text is not good enough. Or maybe I get them to do a video to me. Shoot me an email video, right? So I'm trying to find that information. Change of listing info. Here we go. Agreement, LLC, 2 days authorization. It was a small written rule. Maybe I'm looking in the wrong section. Agency.
Find it later.
It might be. If I, let's see, maybe it's not in section 7. Let's look at section 12. Compilation, active listing, comparable, media on MLS. So compilation of photographs, here we go. Removal of media. There we go. 11.5.2. Removal of media, the MLS reserves the right to, without notice, that's not it.
No.
Here we go, 11.8. Yeah.
His,
I have been off today. The removal of history information from the MLS compilation is forbidden. No exceptions will be made. So basically, all photos and things like that on your listing, when it goes to close, has to be there.
oh,
Has to be there. So I know a lot of agents representing buyers. Buyers now go and start calling you. You call us. Hey, my buyer wants those photos removed off that listing.
mhm.
Oh, that's great. Can't do it. Can't do it. Well, they don't want their property, they don't want people to know what's in their home. Did they buy all the furniture and everything in that home? No. Well, 2 reasons. 1, you were not the listing agent on the property, right? No. So, the listing agent and the seller had an agreement that the seller would allow those photos to be advertised. This is now part of the listing history. Buyer was not the owner of the property at that time, so they cannot dictate the photos, the removal. So we cannot take them off.
Okay,
But they
another
don't want it on
question.
there.
Okay.
Well, that's great. I'm sorry. I know
Oh.
that's the harsh thing to say. Yes.
May I have another question?
Yes.
What if another broker or agent from another broker gave me permission to advertise their active listing?
Did they give you written permission?
No,
Then,
no, I
Get it in
cannot.
writing.
Okay.
because again, if you did something, right, and they wanted to sue you for it, they could. If they wanted to file a grievance like those violation charges, they can't. If you can't produce something in writing that's allowed, that they are allowing you to take photos and videos and do marketing or anything like that, even a printed flyer, they are not giving you written permission to do that, don't do it,
Okay, got it. Thank you.
okay? Yes, ma'am?
Thank you. I understand that we have to have their signature for, their permission, but do we also have to get the broker's
No.
signature too?
Listing agent is a representative of the listing broker, that's why we can say listing agent and or broker. Sometimes in certain situations, you might need both, just to be on the safe side. Maybe this young lady went MIA for whatever reason, I could go to her broker and still get permission to do so.
Oh, if I can't get a hold of it.
If I couldn't get a hold of her, maybe she was on vacation. Right? As long as I have one of the two.
What if she doesn't wanna do it and the broker does?
Who's her boss? Her broker. Right? That's why we can't cancel listings, right? We can't cancel, your agents can't cancel listings, only the broker can
Broker,
cancel
right.
listings.
Well, it seems to me that you would need the broker's permission. If you're an agent from another office who wants to sit in open house and advertise that open house,
Mhm.
the listing belongs to the broker. So if you should do something untoward,
Mhm.
in your advertising, or even because you were doing the open house, some people come in who are scoping the joint out,
Mhm.
and some damage is caused during that open house.
The broker is
It's not,
responsible.
the broker's responsible, so it seems to me that the broker would have to give permission.
Yeah,
Okay,
and
so he can't, cause the agent is kind of, the open house agent is acting kind of as a sub-agent of the listing agent.
let's throw you for our
So that's not
bigger
enough.
move. I'm with Jack and Jill and you're with Humpty Dumpty. Right? So now if something bad happens under my watch,
But the
Who's
seller is
responsible?
gonna sue you.
sue both of us.
He's not gonna sue me, he's gonna sue you.
Why wouldn't he sue you?
Because you chose me. I mean, you're the one who gave permission, you didn't have to.
Well, no, I'm saying I got permission from you. So I got permission from you, the listing agent, and or your listing broker, but I'm at a different company.
Right.
So now the seller sues both of us for the damages. Your E&O won't cover me for my faults for doing any of the damages. My E&O won't cover you. That's why a lot of brokers won't let other people from other companies see through their own.
So what happens when the 800-pound gorilla Zillow comes in and starts dictating policy?
Why? Because they're their own broker?
I don't know, I mean,
When
it
they
just
join
seems
the
like they're
MLS, they
doing-
have to follow all the MLS rules and regulations themselves.
They seem to be like, creating their own wake.
Well,
I mean,
they
I'm
are
just
a
being,
disturber in the industry of real estate. This is why we need to follow the rules, show the rules that we follow are ethical, and what we do in our advertisement is truthful and true representation.
Yeah, but Realtor.com is the same.
Exactly. So we have to make sure that we stand out. That's why we do what we need to do, because these big entities don't care about the individual. These big entities don't care about the consumers and their lives. They only care about what? Money and numbers. Right?
Yeah, but the MLS engages them. So,
Because you have a fiduciary promise to say, what? When I take a listing, I have to advertise it to the largest audience to entertain the highest and best offer. So how do you entertain it to the largest audience? The world. How do you get your listing notified to the world? Through the internet. Through the various different means of very public websites that show and display information. So, it is a
Yeah, but-
necessary evil.
No, I understand that, but.
So
but
how
they're
do we
not-
deal with
they're
the
not
necessary
playing-
evil?
They're not playing the MLS rules the way the agents
Once
have to play
they
them.
come here to California, which will probably be by the end of the year, and they join an MLS system, we are gonna be able to go after them hardcore to make them sure that their real estate business models follow the MLS rules. Doesn't mean that they don't want it changed, and they are going through the means of trying to change it, but this is why we as a group of people, of individuals, of realtors coming together to go against these things or fight against the bad stuff. We have to show that just a few bad apples does not ruin the bunch. This is why the bunch of good apples that are in this room do the right things and advertise the right way. This is why video and everything is important to be able to get those messages out there, because if we only have one source of information where we got information from and it's tainted, it doesn't make it good. No. This is why we as the individuals will control our narrative, to control our destinies, to say the things that we need to say, to be able to help guide our future clients and begin to build that rapport and that trusted source, or become that trusted source. This is important for you guys, right? And these are free things that we can do. Let's take advantage of it while we can before more regulation comes out there, before people start getting wise and start charging us arms and legs because of their misperceptions of what we're doing in our business. Did you all know that 85% of real estate agents do not make any money? None. Especially here in California. 85% of 250,000 agents in California do not make a dime. 15% does, where they actually make a fairly decent living from paycheck to paycheck.
That's all? 15%?
15%.
Oh my goodness.
1%, or actually, I'm sorry, 5% actually makes liquid. Where they have enough money, or they make enough money that they can sustain their living and lifestyle. Now, everybody in this room, do you want to be that 85 or 15?
Is that California or national?
Nationally 85, 15 and 5. Here in California, I think it's like close to 82%. And then it's like 3% that actually make liquid. We don't want to be in the masses. We want to stand out.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, we don't want to live paycheck to paycheck, right?
Right.
We gotta have our business plans and our budgets and our marketing plans in place to make our businesses thrive. These industry disturbers is what I like to call them. They're vastly trying to change things. But this is still a face-to-face. That's something that Zillow won't be able to ever offer, is the face-to-face.
Mm-hmm.
Just like Amazon, just like Google, they're getting to the real estate game. It's all about the face-to-face and the customer service. Let's show them what we're worth. Let's show them why we charge what we charge. Right? You are worth your commission. You work hard. Who else do I know that is 24 hours a day and 7 days a week?
Yeah.
People like me love working 8 to 5, Monday through Friday. But that's also why we just meander along in life. We're okay with our station. This is you. You're an entrepreneur. You want to make money. Anybody feeling like they're being lectured now?
My dad.
Yeah. I'll get off my soapbox, but I am encouraged by everybody that I see in this room who wants more for themselves. It's okay to want more. Go out and get it. Do the things that will help you get it. So what are we doing today? Ready? Shoot. Aim.
Eh, eh.
Okay, all right. Look at that, we finished up a whole hour early.
Wow.
I'm not gonna torture you by doing a Facebook Live. But maybe this weekend you'll think about one. Anybody doing open house this weekend? Couple of you good? Anybody here showing property this weekend? Good, another two? Anybody on a listing appointment? One, excellent. Young lady, what are you doing this weekend?
I'm so brand new, I just got through it 2 weeks of training.
Okay. So we're gonna get you started. So today, at least promise me sometime this weekend, do at least a Facebook Live
Okay.
from somewhere. I don't care what it is that you're doing, get on Facebook Live, talk at least 2 or 3 minutes. Honestly, Facebook Live, you should be on at least 5 to 10 minutes. Now that's a long time to talk, right? So Facebook Live is great for events. So anybody, if you're going to a concert or going out to dinner with somebody or you're going to a movie, give a movie review.
You do sample?
Just doing a Facebook Live today.
Who's gonna watch you?
I think, unless my phone's dead. Nope, it's still going.
Oh, that's right.
That's live. So everything that we're talking about today that people are probably going to comment, you're full of it, you don't know what you're talking about, Tony, you got to stop it. I'm probably going to get a couple of those. Other people, hey, these are good words of advice to think about, right? So do those things.
So what's a podcast? What's the difference between a podcast and live stream?
Nothing. How often you do it. Topics.
Podcasts are recorded though, they're not, aren't they?
Well, live, you're on live, but you can have a podcast live.
Because I've listened to podcasts.
Podcasting, you can always reference it later on, but it's a show.
But then it records as it goes, right?
Yep, just like my Facebook. So my Facebook Live, I can go on, hey, next week, tune in this time next week on Facebook. I can make it a regular thing. Now that's my podcast, right? So where I give bits of information. I will tell you the big thing this year, or the big thing I've heard is the, what is it? The news brief or something like that, where it's a mini podcast of 10 minutes. So instead of doing a half hour to an hour long informational either video or audio, you can now do like short little tidbits throughout multiple days. You know, giving little tidbits here and there. Hey, here's my 10-minute update. You know, whatever, and talk about it. So yes, sir.
Do you know who's watching your Facebook Live right now?
Let's see, who's watching my Facebook Live right now? Well, Facebook basically sends out notifications to all my friends. So right now, my stepmother is watching me. So hi, Mel, how are you doing? I hope you're feeling well. I know you were in the hospital last night, so I hope everything's okay. And a gentleman or a real estate agent by the name of Robert Blake. So I'm going to wave to both of them while we're on live so that they're notified. Hi, how you guys doing? So now I'm going to point back out to my audience so that they get to see everybody here. Usually what's super cool about something like this, if you had the camera pointed at you and you're doing a Facebook Live like podcast or doing whatever, and you see people start to chime in, and let's just move some stuff around here so I can show you what I'm talking about. One of the cool, unique things about doing something like this, if those will pop on for me, there we go. So see here we got Mel, we got Robert, we got everything going live. They could ask me live questions, right? So now I can see them chime in, ask their question. I can answer it, acknowledge them. They give me a thumbs up. Now we've got 10% of my battery, but here, hey Mel, hey Robert, thank you guys for attending. I'm going to turn off the live so that the audience can see what's going to happen to our live video. So I'm going to wave to you. And now we're going to click on finish.